In her wake, a child psychiatrist explores the mystery of her mother's suicide. 2009 is a memoir by American psychiatrist Nancy Rappaport, examining her mother's tragic death and its reverberations. When Rappaport was 4 years old, her mother, also named Nancy, died by suicide after losing custody of her children. Now a psychiatrist specializing in treating suicidal youth, Rappaport delves into her family's past, uncovering long-hidden truths while trying to make sense of her mother's choices. The memoir blends personal narrative with professional insight. As an assistant professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School and a clinician at the Cambridge Health Alliance, Rappaport approaches her mother's story with both emotional and clinical lenses. The spark for her investigation comes when her father's wife, Phyllis, unexpectedly hands her a trunk filled with her mother's keepsakes: photos, letters, diaries, and even a semi-autobiographical novel. These artifacts offer glimpses into a life Rappaport barely remembers, her mother as a socialite, philanthropist, and a woman deeply engaged in personal and political struggles. Through these materials, Rappaport reconstructs her mother's turbulent journey. Her parents, prominent figures in Boston society, had a fraught marriage. Her father, Jerry, was a controversial developer whose projects displaced working-class communities, while her mother was a vivacious but troubled socialite. Nancy's affair with her campaign manager, Richard Sears, and her decision to leave her family set off a chain of events that culminated in a bitter custody battle. When the court ruled against her, Nancy took a fatal overdose, dying days later. Rappaport's investigation takes on the tone of a detective novel as she interviews surviving figures, including Richard Sears, to piece together the story of her mother's life and struggles. Interwoven with this personal journey are professional reflections on the psychiatric dimensions of infidelity, divorce, and suicide. The book received mixed reviews. Critics commended Rappaport's courage in sharing such an intimate story, but noted that her writing occasionally veers into overly detailed clinical analysis. Kirkus Reviews described it as a dry, clinical examination of a family's profound loss. Nonetheless, In Her Wake is a poignant exploration of grief, legacy, and the enduring quest to understand a loved one's life and death. Rappaport grapples with the possibility that her mother suffered from depression when she uncovers a journal entry that reads, "All my life, I've been like a peeled onion, with all my nerve endings exposed." She wonders if her mother's treatment was appropriate. Should she have been prescribed Valium or another mood-altering medication instead of sleeping pills? Yet decades later, Rappaport knows she cannot second-guess her mother's doctor. As part of her exploration, Rappaport outlines prevailing clinical theories of suicide, incorporating case studies of patients she has treated. One key takeaway is the role of an underlying predisposition. A necessary condition for suicide is an underlying propensity for impulsiveness, without which the probability for suicide is small, no matter how bad things get. Despite her extensive analysis, Rappaport ultimately cannot pinpoint why her mother made the choice she did. Instead, she reflects on how this loss shapes her work. "I wonder if surviving my mother's suicide brings with it a certain knowledge that there are limits to keeping people alive if they are determined to kill themselves." After their mother's death, Rappaport and her siblings were raised by their father and stepmother, who imposed an unwritten rule of silence about their loss. They wrapped us in an uncomfortable silence and tried to carry on as if everything would be, just fine. This avoidance took a toll, creating emotional rifts within the family. Grief and guilt developed in my father and stepmother, compounded by the challenges of attending to so many children, Rappaport writes. She acknowledges this is not uncommon. Studies show that children of people who die by suicide are 5 times more likely than others to attempt suicide themselves. Determined to break this cycle, Rappaport uses her research and writing as a way to heal old wounds. "I was the youngest in the family," she explains. "I'm the doctor. I wanted to help make it all better. Here I would say, tell me where it hurts." Her journey includes a difficult conversation with her father and heartfelt outreach to her siblings. These efforts bring the family closer. Through connecting with my siblings about their memories of our mother and our loss of her, we are closer. In finding shared words to understand what she meant to us, I am fortified. Still, Rappaport acknowledges the limits of healing. Losing our mother when we were so young cannot be sugarcoated. We needed her. Her family's journey through grief and reconciliation is both a testament to the enduring impact of suicide and a reflection of the resilience found in shared love and understanding. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.